Boom. What's up, you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to Waves Capital. I'm going to kick off this video with a quote that many of you have probably heard me say many times, and that is this: I'm a trader, not a fortune teller. But that being said, the way the Soundhound trade has worked out is pretty magical, and I'm feeling like a bit of a wizard after this one. So, in this video, we're going to take a look at, the news that really led Soundhound to drop nearly 30%, actually about 30% as we closed out the trading day. We're going to take a look at Soundhound on the charts, and I'll give you guys a little bit of insight as to where I think the stock could go from here, just in case you're still trading a few puts we have left in the portfolio along with me, or in the case that you're looking to potentially buy the dip for the long term. But most importantly, the real reason I'm making this video, for just to be completely honest, is to celebrate with Waves Capital. This has been a trade that we've been in for about 2 to 3 weeks now. Late January is when we established it. We had the thesis in place. Many of you would have seen it. January 30th right here. We can scroll down to this Soundhound analysis. Called for 1025. 1050 as of the past week has been my personal price targets, and we pretty much perfectly nailed that. I mean, again, as I said in the beginning, the reason I have these little Chizu wizard emojis on here is because this one really did work out magical, and it's almost surreal when you see the fundamentals catalyze such a crazy but perfect like technical situation or scenario. But as I've said many times before, sometimes these things just have a weird, unexplainable, ethereal way of working out. And I'm not like woo about this stuff, but that's just how it is. After looking at charts for so long, you see things like this happen more than you'd expect to see them. And in this case, we capitalized. Again, I want to talk about why going against the grain really creates some of the most, I mean, that's pretty obvious, but we'll just expand on how zigging when they zag or going against the grain can provide you with some of the greatest trades and really the outlier trades. Like everyone, I mean, every other hedge fund manager out there can kind of scrape out a few percent a trade. But when it comes to those multiples, 3, 4, 5xing your money, like we do with Soundhound, like we recently did with Philip Morris, which was like a 12 to 15x, depending on how you were trading it. For me personally, it was about a 12x, but why, again, going against the grain, as I just said like 3 times, gets you those big trades, why it's important to look for these things. And I guess most importantly, I want to talk about where a lot of these profits went to and how I reallocated this capital. So at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about a stock at the exact opposite end of the spectrum. Many of you know it, many of you love it, many of you are trading along with me, or probably watched one of my recent videos on it. That is Applied Digital. So Soundhound was on the bad end of that trade today. Applied Digital was on the good end, and I'm really stoked that early on in the session, we were able to establish a brand new call options position on Applied Digital, ride the next waves, and so stick around to the end of the video if you're interested in that. Okay, so Soundhound AI. You can see here, Soundhound has perfectly retested this line of broken resistance. As many of you know, have that the members only trader tips video going over this trading pattern, or this trend, this technical trend. That is probably my favorite technical trend to trade off of in the entire trading game. And that is a broken line of support or resistance, in this case, resistance being retested as a new line of support. You can see here, I had 2 trend lines drawn. This one dating back to January of this year. So a couple months, touch point, creating that line of medium-term resistance. But then we had this short-term line of resistance starting here in late January, kind of when we started trading Hound at Waves Cap. And that is this trend line right here. And you can see, as of today, we pretty much perfectly bounced in between these two. So that's incredibly satisfying. At the same time as testing Soundhound's prior high. So technically, Soundhound's prior all-time high from back in March of 2024, so almost a year ago now, was at about 1025. But after looking at the charts, going over here, you can see here that this is why I've had this level set at around 1040, 1050. It's because there was a gap region over here in December of 2024 when Soundhound really started taking off, when things really got manic and the bubble really started. And that is right here around 1050, which is why I chose to take so much profits this morning. As many of you know, I went into the trading day with about 125 put options. And I don't want to scroll down too far there. That's a full portfolio. I started the day with about 125 put options that expired on February 21st. These are $15 puts. Those skyrocketed about 500% this morning, and I sold 115 of my 125. Currently holding 10, as I alluded to in the beginning of the video, just because I do think that there is more room for downside. I'll just say I think SoundHound can come down to about 950, simply because that is this level that has yet to be retested. You can see here from late November of 2024, we were floating around 950, broke above that. Pretty significant ceiling, I would say, on just the series of higher highs and higher lows in this macro uptrend that has now become a macro downtrend, and the bubble, I'll say the bubble's popped. I can pretty confidently say that as of now. The gains are definitely, if you're trying to look to play puts here, the gains are definitely, behind us, I would say now. Again, if you were trading this with us, you can probably scratch out, a little bit more, because I do think we come down to 950 in the week ahead. I do think it's possible that a lot of AI stocks see some pain in the week ahead. But again, as I've been saying a lot in the newsletter, there will always be diamonds in the rough. And, 2025 so far has been, I say this in every video, but I'm thankful to say that. But 2025 is really just the gift that keeps on giving. We just keep making hit trade after hit trade. We are hit makers over here at Waves Capital, and I'm just really thankful that the momentum has stayed in our favor, and that we can continue to make these life-changing gains. So, cheers, Waves Capital. If you guys if you guys got in on this one with me, then let's just keep the ride alive, and steak and sushi is getting a little old at this point. So mix it up a little bit. Go treat yourself and your loved ones to an amazing dinner, and cheers to another great trade. If you guys are not yet members of Waves Capital, then what are you waiting for? It's the first link in the description of the video to sign up. If you want my daily trade alerts, my flash trades, my price targets newsletters, everything we're looking at right here, these are just examples of some recent newsletters, and I write 2 to 3 of these every single trading day. So if you want that, along with a full breakdown of my portfolio, if you want to know exactly which call options I just bought on Applied Digital, if you want to know what other put positions I have to hedge the portfolio, along with, have some AI call options, I have some Riot call options. I just introduced some genomics plays into the portfolio. The diversification is more critical than I can even explain here, and I'm proud to say that the Waves portfolio is, in my opinion, in such good shape, and I'm so excited for what the future holds. Even though the past couple of weeks, couple of months has been blockbuster, has been freaking amazing, I think that there's even more potential in the weeks and months ahead. And, hopefully the momentum continues and the ride stays alive. So join the team. First link in the description if you're interested. My complete portfolio, daily trade alerts, email newsletters. It's $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. You can try free. The reason I do a free trial is because I'm so confident in the product I provide. And yet, if you've been trading any amount of capital at all, if you've been trading $100 with us over the past couple of months, you probably could have paid for a lifetime. Maybe not exactly, but you know what I mean there. So first link in the description if you want to join the team. As always, if you are a member, testimonials help out a lot. So that's appreciated. And, if not, no worries at all. I appreciate you watching. I hope that's you got some value out of this. Just to sum this up, I think we fall to 950. If you want to buy for the long term, then 950 could be a buying spot. I'm definitely not going to be a buyer here personally. I want to make it clear that I don't dislike this company. I don't think this is a bad company. I just think that as someone who's virtually made a career playing hype cycles and playing 2 wave patterns like this, exactly what we just saw pan out, it was just too perfect not to capitalize on. And again, you take the risk, you go against the grain, and you can see here that where's that one? Where is it? This one? Okay, yeah, right here. Yesterday, as SoundHound popped, so I'm recording this on Friday, February 14th. Yesterday, SoundHound popped like 10%. What I chose to do is capitalize and buy even more put options. So again, many traders probably would have gotten scared, but that's why it's important to disregard emotion and stick to your game plan. Even when things may seem like they're reversing, there was no confirmation here, nothing to lead me to believe that SoundHound was going to see a breakout or break the overall direction, which was down. And I capitalized, and today that's just that relatively small decision to capitalize literally, 4x, up 500%. So, that's SoundHound. We'll just call it there to just rehash on the news before we get to Applied Digital. SoundHound disclosed, NVIDIA disclosed its latest 13F filing. It shows what it's currently invested in. SoundHound, they sold off all of their SoundHound and some other company that it's like Serve or something. Both of those absolutely tanked today. On that same 13F filing, it showed that Applied Digital, a name that we're very familiar with around here, was still on NVIDIA's balance sheet. And that's incredibly bullish, okay? And I'm really stoked to see that the technicals now feed back into the fundamental momentum. The whole DeepSeek debacle really, really messed up Applied Digital's momentum that it had like a month ago. But now you can see here that we've broken above this line of conservative medium-term resistance, a smaller line right here. Again, I have another members-only video going over conservative and absolute lines of resistance, how I draw these trend lines. So if you haven't seen those yet, hit the join button. It's $5 a month for that. If not, again, no worries at all. But along with that, what's really exciting me about this is the fact that we've reclaimed this long-term ascending channel by breaking back above this line of resistance, above this line of long-term support. Okay, so technically we've reclaimed this long-term macro ascending channel. Volume is picking up. You can see trading volume was 43 million today on an average of 24. So just under 2x average volume, which is amazing to see. And that's something I really like to see. Obviously, SoundHound traded a very high level of volume as well. But when you're seeing a change in momentum or a shift in momentum, a turning of the tide, you want to see that volume, right? You want to see volume picking back up. And in this case, that's really, really bullish. On top of some trend lines, like trend lines flipping bullish, you can see, let's go to 1 day. So you can see 1 day RSI, 1 day RSI, 1 day stochastic RSI, 1 day RSI here where my cursor's hovering. You can see curled off of its exponential moving average, that blue curled up off of the skinny white line, which is the EMA. That's really, really bullish. Nowhere near overbought territory just yet on this. The dashed lines would signify overbought territory. That's 80 plus RSI. So we're looking really good. A lot of room to run from a 1 day RSI perspective. 1 day stochastic RSI curling up, also looking really, really bullish. And again, just a reclamation of this ascending channel. I do think that in the month ahead, if things continue to compound for APLD, and I believe this will be the case. That's why I established so many call options this morning. I mean, relatively speaking, so many call options. It's triple digits. I do think that we can make our way up slowly but surely in the weeks ahead, maybe the month ahead, months ahead, up to the top end of this ascending channel. I will personally be taking profits once and if we see the conservative line of resistance tested on this ascending channel. And just the reason I have this here is just to show what can happen in what span of time. You can see here just back in June of 2024, it happened a couple of other times, but just here, Applied Digital plus 80% in the span of 13 days, okay? If you go from the base of where this rally would have technically begun, January 28th, down here around $6, that would lead up to, you know what, I'm going to count like right here, just the base of this current rally, because that's what I did when I drew this line, or I made this example. So I'm going to go with the example and stick to just the example in place. 80% from the base of this existing rally that just kicked off of this good news, off of this fundamental catalyst, which is kind of what I was going for over here. A fundamental catalyst ignites a technical spark, or ignites the technical spark that creates the overall flame of momentum, I guess, just to stick with that analogy. 80%, if we see 80%, it would coincide nicely with this line of conservative resistance. And again, NVIDIA being involved in your company, along with, Applied Digital, go watch the last video, Applied Digital's recent like $6 billion, it's not investment, but like it's a commitment to invest like $6 billion from, I can't remember the name of the fund right now, but the momentum is so heavily in Applied Digital's favor. The technical momentum is once again in their favor, and that's obviously super good news if you're a bull on the stock like I am. So again, excited to see what happens here. Excited to see what happens with Riot, what happens with C3. We'll see what happens with Palantir. If you remember, you would know why I'm interested in that one at the moment. But again, if you want to join the team, if you want to join Waves Capital for real, it's the first link in the description of the video. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you guys in the comment downstairs to discuss whatever you want to talk about, good or bad. So I'll see you down there, and I appreciate you watching. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.